Good morning, Happy New Year. So, I've decided as my New Year's resolution, starting today, January the 1st, I'll be making a blog, video blog, every day from today until the end of the year. I will be making a feature film called Black Family Lies. And so, I just wanted people to see the process. Simply because we have a lot of indie filmmakers like myself who started out here doing things, started out with short films and those kinds of things and progressively going up. But I also wanted people to see how I learn as I go. This is my first time doing anything of this magnitude, and it's a little scary, but at the same time I know it's a purpose that God's put on my life. So I figured I can get educated the way others were educated. YouTube, books, those kinds of things. And I figured the video blog may be a great way to help out somebody else who's trying to start out. So, let me tell you a little bit about Black Family Lies. So Black Family Lies, the movie, is based on a book that I actually wrote called Black Family Lies. It basically talks about the abuse I suffered at the hands of my family, very dysfunctional family, and it talks about some of the decisions that I made because of the background I had or because of the things that happened to me. It pretty much just journals some of the horrors that I had to deal with in my childhood and young adulthood. So, I started writing Black Family Lies pretty much because I had a counselor who suggested I write down my feelings because the stuff that happened to me, because of the abuse that happened to me, I made some bad choices. Got addicted to drugs, lost jobs, homeless, prostitution, those kinds of things. And when I finally got myself into some rehab, they told me journal. So I journaled. And I wrote down emotions at first. And then I started writing down what actually happened to me. And because my family was dysfunctional and abusive, when I tried to explain to people in my family what was going on, they all told me I had an overactive imagination. And I roll my eyes every time I say that because it's like, wow, really? This is back in 1970, 1980. There was no YouTube, or it just was coming out. There was no YouTube. There was no real internet social community thing that most people didn't have internet. So, and the programs on TV were not talking about stuff like that. Some of them barely talk about it now, but they weren't talking about stuff like that. So where in heaven's name would I get an idea to even come up with some of these horrific stories? But after I did the journaling, I started writing down what happened, as I said before. And people believed me when I was talking about in the rehab groups and the Rubicon and all those kinds of things. And people were really proud of me for even speaking those things out, because when I found out when I was in rehab that anywhere from 80 to 90% of the people in the rehab group, whether it was AA, NA, whatever, about 80 to 90% of them had been abused themselves, and they chose some substance to deal with the pain and the memories. So the journaling helped a lot. The writing about what happened to me helped a lot. And I got a job working with Ed Youth program, a school, and one of the girls in my classroom, because I was pretty much a teacher assistant, stole my notebook because she thought I was writing about her. And once she started reading it and realized it wasn't about her, it was about some of the things I've been through, she was quiet for the rest of the class period, made everybody else do their work. And then at the end of the class, she gave me the book back and apologized profusely and told me the same thing happened to her. And I promise you, it hurt my heart to know that that stuff was still going on. I thought it was just my crazy dysfunctional family. See, that's what happens when you're in a dysfunctional family. They try to isolate you from the outside world so you won't tell people what's going on. They try to make you they try to, especially in an African American family, you know, the statement of what happens in the family stays in the family, keeps a cone, a circle of silence around you, and keeps you somewhat isolated from the outside world, so that you won't be able to tell anybody, or you feel bad if you do tell somebody. And so when she told me that, and I realized, and the next day when she came back in, she promised she'd do her work if she could read more about the book. The next day when she came back in, not only was she a model student after being a troublemaker for most of the school year, but she had gotten some of her other classmates to be model students because they wanted to read or hear what I had wrote, to the point where I had tried to keep up with them because they were finishing my chapters so quickly that after a couple of weeks, they were like, so what you got next? And I realized I had to make it into a book because this stuff was still going on. The abuse, the molestation, the rape, this stuff was still going on. Mind you, that was back in 2000, 2010. My book was, no, it was even longer back then. My book has been out for now 15 years. And every time I turn the news, I see more and more. It hasn't gone away. It hasn't changed. But people's way of reading about stuff or entertaining themselves or even learning about the stuff has changed. That's the reason why I'm doing Black Family Lies, the movie. People don't read books that much anymore. If they do, it's an e-book. You know, they read it on their smartphone, tablet. I mean, now technology's gotten so good that you can have it on your watch or even a ring. So if I really want to reach the people who are really going through stuff, I need to put it on a place so they can access readily. So I'm going to be making a feature film. It's going to be either on YouTube or Hulu or one of those platforms. And would I like it to go to a movie theater? Of course I would. But I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it to help other people who are out there still suffering, who are still having problems dealing with abuse, who are still going through it every day. And I want to give them hope because I survived, and God is no respecter of persons. So if I can survive, you can. Not only did I survive, not only did I become a survivor of that, I'm thriving. I'm moving forward. My life is good. Is it great? But it's going in the right direction. And I want people to see that. People need to see that. People need to see that the horrors that happened to me were not something that took me out, but something that elevated me. Now, do I mean it was for my better good? No. But I used the horrors in my past to be able to reach out and help other people who are still going through. And I'm going to continue doing that. So, I'm doing Black Family Lies, the movie, and I'm recording it because I'm new to this game. Really am. But I learned through watching YouTube, as I said before. YouTube is just a good thing. And books. And just taking the camera and going out and shooting. So I'm hoping that this blog will help some of these indie filmmakers out there who are just starting off. No matter what your age. From 12 all the way up to 80 if you want to do it. So I'm going to show you how I do my full-length feature film starting day 1, January 1st, 2019. And I'll post some more tomorrow. And we're going to continue this journey together. And give you some glimpses of some of the horrors I did suffer. So, for now, I just want to say Happy New Year. This is my new resolution to bring the truth to light by any means necessary. Thank you.